welcome to the 6th episode of the Outdoor Sports Show for 2018. It's the only magazine television show which showcases the very best action from all of the most spectacular and significant outdoor sports events. We take you up close to the athletes and introduce the characters behind the sports, as well as travel you around the globe to some of the most stunning natural sports venues. In this episode, we'll be in Patagonia, Argentina for their premier mountain trail race, the one and only Patagonia Run. We then move to Europe and into the world of mountain biking for the Four Island Race in Croatia. Adding swimming and running, the off-road triathlon brand Xterra is one of the fastest growing multisports, and in this episode we visit Alabama in the United States for the Xterra Oak Mountain Race, where hundreds of amateurs and professional triathletes take to the dirt trails surrounding Pelham. The French Alps are famous for their summer outdoor sports, including trail running. The Salomon Gore-Tex Maxi Race in Annecy is one of the most demanding and challenging of them all, and will follow the elite athletes around the stunning mountainous race. Before all that, our first stop on this month's programme is Cyprus, one of the largest islands in the Mediterranean Sea. Famous for its blue waters, volcanic-like trails and vistas of exceptional beauty, it's the perfect destination for an Xterra race. The event saw the athletes take on a 1.5-kilometre sea swim, followed by a 32-kilometre mountain biking route, and they finished with a testing 10-kilometre trail run. Due to the sea conditions, organisers of the first Xterra Cyprus 12 months ago were forced to cancel the swim and make the event a duathlon. Not only were the waves high and the shore chop brutal, but the undercurrents were super strong. After the disappointment of the swim being cancelled in 2017, it couldn't have been more different this time around. Lara Beach offered perfect swimming conditions and calm waters.
So firstly, good morning, welcome, this is it. All your training, hard work, time to put it to practice and smash this course, Xterra Cyprus.
The start siren went off on time, and although the athletes entered the water at speed, it seemed that no one was willing to take up the lead once in the water. After the first loop, Maxime Sain was at the front of the leading pack. Roger Serrano, though, was hot on his tail, with Hans Wolpert, Sebastian Neef, Thiago Meyer and Anthony Pania were not far behind. After crashing in Malta, Serrano wasn't even sure he would make the starting lineup here in Cyprus, so it was a remarkable effort to overhaul Maxime and take the race win. Race, Riveros and Walters headed out on the bike with Paul not far behind, but by the end of the first loop she had passed both Barbara and Nicole. Paul entered T2 with a lead of 3 minutes, whilst Riveros and Walters arrived at the same time. Finally, it was Paul who made it first to the finish line, while Barbara held on to second and Nicole crossed the line in third.
My experience today has been great. I enjoyed it so much. The bike course is really hard. The second lap was tough. Perfect weather, sunny, hot, the beach, everything was perfect and I enjoyed it so much.
Of course, I think this Xterra Cyprus is brutal. It's a tough race. I think everyone could come here, but you will suffer for sure. It's like rock and roll triathlon.
Let's move to South America and to Patagonia for the Patagonia Mountain Trail Run. For the last 2 years, the Patagonia Run has been part of the Ultra Trail World Tour, the most important international trail race circuit worldwide. In 2018, it again awarded ITRA points for the 21-kilometre to 100-mile races. With this in mind, 300 runners registered in the 6 distances available. The longest was the 100-mile event, but there are also 100, 70, 42, 21 and 10-kilometre options.
Patagonia Run is 6 races whole day, actually 2 days, where we have distances from 10K to 100 miles.
The runners started the 100-mile race at midday from Laka Lake coast. A crowd cheered the athletes, almost 170 of them, offering them the support needed for the first few hours of the race. As night approached, the runners climbed up Colorado Hill, and as the sun rose, having endured a night on their feet, the finish line was in sight. The race featured not just beautiful landscapes, but also interesting routes designed by the slick organising team. The 42-kilometre route was a qualifying race for the Argentinian national squad, with their athletics federation using the race for their team travelling in June to the World Cup in Poland. In the 100-mile distance, Gustavo Reyes and Veronica Ramirez wrote their name in history, becoming the first ever winners over this distance. The male runner from Neuquén crossed the finishing line just before 10 a.m, together with Maximiliano Lopez, who kept up with him during most parts of the race. Veronica Ramirez crossed the finishing line just after midday, completing the race in 24 hours, 21 minutes and 37 seconds. Our next stop is France for the Salomon Gore-Tex Maxi Race, one of the most spectacular trail races in Europe. Centred around Lake Annecy for many of the world's leading runners, this event marks the opening of the summer season in the French Alps. Now, in its 8th year, the event has become a key date in the trail running calendar. The best athletes in the world will be either in the maxi race over 85 kilometres or the 116-kilometre ultra race. With an impressive international lineup, the races are set to be of the very highest calibre and full of surprises.
The Maxi Race Annecy is born in 2011, so now it's the 8th edition. We grow year by year. We start with 1,000 runners, and every year we made twice more runners and more quality into the organization until 2015, where we organized the World Championship. And since this date, we decided to share our passion in other countries and to invite more international athletes to make discover our paradise to the maximum of person and maximum of nationality.
Different for everyone. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses in races. For me, it's still a very long race. I haven't that much experience in these types of long races. For me, the critical thing is holding it together all the way, I would say, because I'm not so experienced in super long running as many of the other runners are.
This natural site provides an exceptional course around Lake Annecy and over the peaks that surround it. The routes will take the runners through forests, alpine pastures, mountain paths and up and down sheer rock faces.
I think it's the speed at the start, not too fast, and all the race hydration, because tomorrow it's very hot, and maybe for 13 or 14 hours, if you don't drink a lot, it's very, very difficult.
This unique race caters for everyone, attracting a range of runners from amateur to professional athletes.
I think the first part is so runnable and the second part is more hard. I need to take care of the first part and save my legs for the second part. The first part is the level is so high and maybe it's possible past and maybe later not finally. I think this is the objective.
One of the most talented trail runners in the world is Francois Dane. The French idol has won the prestigious UTMB Mont Blanc 3 times and holds the course record as well. He was also the winner of the first ever Ultra Trail World Tour.
Trail running is a long time ago now, it's like around 12 years. My first long race was, I think, in 2005. My first interesting win for me was in 2006 in Tour des Glaciers de la Vanoise. It was a 72k, and yeah, it was really interesting for me. I'm with Salomon since a long time ago, and now around 9 or 10 years. Yeah, it's a big adventure for me. It was my first partner, and I never changed since the beginning. And we try to work together in collaboration, to respect their values, to respect my values, to respect my feelings, my freedom, everything. And we really try to build together our career and our image. And yeah, I think it's very interesting to be together. Yeah. It's an incredible sportsman. He's very nice too, and it's always a pleasure to meet him, to train with him, to discuss with him. Actually, we have two lives really different, because I have the winery, I have 2 children, and I cannot spend many times in mountain like him. But I think he pushed a lot for the sport, he helped a lot for the sport, and it's really interesting how he can play with the media. My program is just that each week should be different, to keep motivation, to keep excitement, to go outdoor and to train.
To the action now. The event holds 11 different race formats, 116 kilometres over 1 or 2 days, an 85 kilometre solo or relay race, a 42 kilometre event, as well as a Femina race, a short race, a children's race and a vertical race. In total, 8,700 runners will experience the event around Lake Annecy. In the ultra race, the athletes set off at 1:30 in the morning.
Incredible race, great adventure.
Thousands Thousands of athletes, using just their headlamps to guide them, started their efforts from the lake towards the Seminoles Ski Centre. Renowned for its outdoor sports activities, the centre marks the 20-kilometre main station of the race. The lead group included China's Yan Longfi and France's Julien Chaurier and Romain Olivier, but there was still a long way to go. With the athletes feeling the kilometres in their legs, Fabrice Cruchot powered home strongly, overtaking Kotka and Olivier to cross the finish line in second. Kotka took third, whilst the overall winner of the Salomon Gore-Tex Maxi race was Francesco Cucco, having crossed the line in little over 15 hours. A few hours later, the Maxi race got underway, and right from the start, Frenchman Vincent Villet and Germain Granger, as well as Spain's Jordi Gamito, took control of the race, staying in front all the way to the finish. It all came down to the final descent for Granger, who prevailed in front of Gamito and Viet. It was a memorable day for the Frenchman, as his girlfriend, USA's Katie Scheid, won her race, leading from start to finish. She finished 15th overall and won the Maxi race in 37 minutes ahead of Camille Brouillat from France.
When I was like 15 kilometers before the finish, I had 20 minutes, just managed my advantage, and it was quite a nice day for me. It's my first victory.
It's a super beautiful race, very tough, very technical, and I like that. I like a challenge.
The event opened the Maxi Race World Tour 2018. The series will now continue to Sicily in July, Ecuador in October, China in November, before the final event in Madeira this December. Our next stop on this month's episode of the Outdoor Sports Show takes us to the southeast of the United States and to Alabama for the Xterra Oak Mountain Race. Oak Mountain State Park is one of the most ideal outdoor destinations in America.
Every year, including Oak Mountain, but everywhere we go, there's always room for improvement. So we try to make improvements based on what we learned the year before, whether we add sections of the course or eliminate sections of the course, lengthen it, shorten it. We do have an ideal length of time that we'd like to achieve and a distance. So we keep it within those parameters for an Xterra. And most important issues are safety. So we'll try to have many marshals out there. We're all on radio contact. And number one priority is the safety of our participants.
Elite athletes came from all over the globe to race and soak up the outdoor experience of the park. Former Xterra world champion Leslie Patterson, originally from Scotland, shares her insights on racing in such a wonderful venue.
Alabama is an amazing race because it's so beautiful. We're here in a national park, Oak Mountain State Park. The trails are flowing and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous place, and the people are wonderful here in Alabama. They're very supportive of the race and super friendly. This race, definitely, I just like to sort of go hard and see how I recover from the weekend, but I'm always after the win. I'm never quite happy until I get a win. I think my biggest piece of advice in order to get into Xterra is to focus on your own journey, pick something that you know you can do and gradually build those goals until they're attainable.
Tough swimming sessions, steep mountain biking stages and demanding trail running courses are just some of the elements that make these races unique. Most athletes have their favourite discipline out of the three, a part of the race where they can gain some advantage over their rivals.
Running is my strength, running is my background, and yeah, I enjoy being out on those trails.
Mountain biking is definitely my favorite.
My favorite discipline switches throughout the year, and so it kind of depends on the weather. I love swimming when it's warm and sunny out.
Biking, which is challenging.
Xterra athletes travel all over the world, facing different environments and weather conditions at the various competitions. Let's hear which destination they prefer regarding the level of competition, the weather conditions, the difficulty of the course, the beauty of the landscape, and of course the local hospitality.
Obviously, Xterra Pelham is my favorite because this is my home course.
Maui, Hawaii, the World Championship.
Xterra Brazil on the island of Ilhabela.
Oak Mountain is going to be probably just as challenging and high level of athletes as we see at the World Championships.
Back at Oak Mountain State Park in Pelham, Alabama, the 13th annual Xterra Oak Mountain event was about to get underway. The championship course at the Oak Mountain State Park combined a 1.5 kilometre swim, 30 kilometre mountain biking and a 10 kilometre trail run. On race day, the athletes have to be prepared for every kind of underfoot condition out on the twisting, rolling, tree-lined course. The race kicked off with an epic start by the elite men. Ian King was the first man out of the water in 21 minutes and 11 seconds, followed closely by Karsten Madsen, Brandon Rakita, Tom Ackerson and Victor Arenas. Defending Oak Mountain champion Josiah Middow came out of the 1.5 kilometre swim nearly 3 minutes behind the leaders, but quickly went to work on his bike. At the end of the day, Josh Middow and Leslie Patterson captured the 13th annual Xterra Oak Mountain Off-Road Triathlon Elite titles on a beautiful day in the Oak Mountain State Park in Shelby County.
I feel great. It never gets any easier. I knew it was going to be a real hard challenge coming in and racing some really fit guys that have been racing a lot this season, and not sure where my fitness level was, so I feel real good that I had something left on the run and was able to finish the deal.
The race was epic today, beautiful conditions, absolutely perfect, trails were awesome. Just went hard from the start, had a pretty solid swim and then just attacked the whole course. Got into the lead on the bike towards the end, and I know that I'm the fastest runner here, so that gave me a lot of confidence. Went onto the run and just tried to keep it kind of hard all the way around and make plenty of distance up.
Our last stop for this episode is the Four Islands mountain bike race in Croatia. As always, the stages took our riders across the northern Adriatic archipelago to the unique islands of Kirk, Rab, Cres and Longines. Over 500 riders joined this year to ride more than 240 kilometres over rocks, more rocks, gravel, mud, through vineyards, over a couple more rocks here and there, through forests and over rocky fields, passing shepherds' huts and pastures, along coastal walkways, up and down, over technical sections and some intense downhill parts, over rocks, back to the sea, and then again back up and over to the other side of the mountain to repeat it all again. In all the stages, as the results started coming in from the checkpoints, it was clear that there was little between the top elite teams. Finally, Mitas team took the elite men's race, narrowly beating Cross Racing team by less than 2 minutes, with Team Tex Simplon in third. In the elite women's race, the Swiss pair of Esther Seuss and Cornelia Hug won their category in easy fashion. So that's it for this month's episode. Stay tuned to the Outdoor Sports Show, the only place that brings you up close to the action from the exciting world of outdoor sports.